Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Chaos Child. I was like, what? Anyway, so we just ran out of the hospital. I'm assuming because there's Sky out here, so we ran away. But now the old lady and the little girl, the creepy little girl, have our phone. So anyway, we're okay now, right? Let's rest a little. I collapsed right under the ground. I wanted to catch my breath, but it wasn't working. That's a lot of fucking bikes. I mean, like, the ones on the left look like maybe they have, like, rental things that they're snapped into or something. Right? You know what I mean? Those podiums, but the ones on the right don't look like that. That's like really... Anyway, my legs were shaking from exhaustion and my hands were shaking from the still lingering terror. Did you just throw your food on the floor? It's okay. They aren't following us, I think. It was all I could do to muster a feeble nod. I had no idea why, but my hands shaking made me really mad. I slammed them into the asphalt. Damn it! How? What were they doing there? And now they have my smartphone with all its data? I think they have something to do with the sumo stickers. Yeah. It couldn't be a coincidence. Hey, I got a call. Shinchan? Hello? It's 108. What's wrong? Yeah. Okay. My breathing had calmed down. I needed to get my thoughts in order. The phone had a lock on it. They wouldn't be able to do anything with it immediately. It was clear that the sumo stickers were involved somehow. In particular, that was all filled with sumo stickers. That wall filled with sumo stickers where nothing's happened yet bothers me. Come to think of it, Kurusu said she was going to take down the security camera. What happened with that? Taku... Sarika turned around, moving very slowly. Kurusu's missing. What's wrong? What did that expression mean? Sarika looked away from me for a moment, and then back as if afraid of something painful. Yeah. None was stabbed. Okay, that's worse than she's missing.
Oh. Big Brother Takuru.
Where's Kurusu? I'm like, who? Yui pointed toward the exam room in the back with a pained expression on her face. Oh, I'm supposed to read like me. Never mind, I'm still me. I only read kind of normal. Like, he's sort of got an attitude voice. Anyway. Damn it. This can't be happening. Kurusu! Ah! What? Again? What? No, forget that. Kurusu! Where's Kurusu?
Be quiet. This is a hospital, remember?
Was she okay?
Takuru,
What?
take off your shoes.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I forgot to take them off when I came in, so I quickly yanked them off my feet.
What?
No, I could see a bandage through the gaps in her pajamas.
Oh, this?
Kurusu lifted up her shirt just a little to show me her stomach. It was wrapped in a thick bandage.
13 stitches. It's nothing bad.
13 stitches doesn't sound like good. Oh, this dude. You! Did this bitch just punch me? Did this bitch just punch me? We might have deserved it. I felt a dull pain in my face. I collapsed to the ground, and then he grabbed me by the shirt and lifted me back up. He's gonna blame me. She was taking down a camera that you put up. Well, maybe she should mind her own fucking business, and she wouldn't have gotten stabbed. Why is it my fault that she's being a dumb fuck? Let me be a dumb fuck. Leave me alone. If I get stabbed for being a dumb fuck, that's my own fault. If she gets stabbed because she's being a dumb fuck, trying to stop me from being a dumb fuck, that's her own goddamn fault. I'm just saying. What the hell do you think you're doing, asshole? That's not his voice. I don't know what his voice is anyway.
Stop it, Kawahara.
I don't know if you think you're Sherlock Holmes or something, but this happened because you've been screwing around. Why is he British all of a sudden? What is happening? He's supposed to have a voice like that. Oh, that's it. Muffy. I don't know if you think you're Sherlock Holmes or something. No, I can't do it. I don't know. I can't do his voice anymore. Whatever. He's just gonna have a different voice every time he shows up. She could have died, you know.
Kawahara.
Again, why is it my fault? How is that my fault? Did I stab her? No. Okay. She was doing this because you... Yeah, well, maybe she's fucking in charge of her own goddamn decisions. I didn't tell her to go there. He pushed me away violently. My face stung from the punch. Hey, young man! Is this my beer? Yes. Supposedly there's a lot of other stuff in it, too. Oh, thanks!
Ken, thank you. Kawahara, can you help him carry it into his house?
Huh? No, but...
Please?
Fine. His voice is different from him. Fuck you. Kawahara glared at me for a minute, then picked up the cardboard box and left.
Oh, Taku!
Ken, why?
Oh, well, you know.
Take care, Missy.
Yes, you too, Gen. He's always so easygoing, isn't he?
It's because he's drunk. Why? I mean, no. What happened? Are you okay? Curtis's hand slowly stretched down to the wound on her stomach.
Gen happened to be passing by and he saved me. He caught the person who stabbed me. That camera you planted, or I guess it was Ito, actually.
Again, this is my fault because of the camera. Well, maybe you shouldn't have gone. I don't think we should feel guilty for it. I mean, I'm sorry she got stabbed, but bitch, she shouldn't have gone there. That's...
It doesn't matter. When I was taking down the camera, the strange person started talking to me. They said something about the place of a holy barrier. I didn't understand what they meant. And then they got really close to me all of a sudden.
And stabbed her?
Yeah, sheesh. I wonder where they even sell knives like that.
Her voice was far more cheerful than I'd expected it to be. For some reason, that made everything suddenly seem real. Caruso had really been stabbed. And then what happened?
I hit them and ran away, of course. Gen happened to be passing by and he caught them. And then we called 110. 110.
It's like 911, I guess.
Takuru?
Is your wound okay?
It just took off a little bit of the side of my stomach. My organs are all fine. I'm okay.
Who's Wakui? Oh, is that our teacher? Right, Wakui was the teacher guy, right? What voice did he have? I don't remember. Oh, Miyashido! I have no idea what voice he had. There he is. Yeah. Oh my god, are they related? They both have a fucking shaggy beard, except for, what's-his-face is so much bigger, and then he's got, the little tiny shaggy stubble. You're here, huh? It's been a while. I don't know their I just did them! I don't know. Yeah. Alright. We're again in young Kawahara.
I had them leave.
And that gift?
I gave it to him. I had Kawahara carry it.
I see, Dad said as he scratched his head. It really had been a while since I'd seen his face. Not since I'd left the dorm. Sakuma, I'll be on my way. Oh, that's right. Sorry for the trouble Nono caused. No, Karusu's always a big help to us. Bye, Karusu. Take care.
Thank you, and sorry for the trouble.
So sorry she caused you trouble. She was bleeding and got stabbed. Oh, right. If you're here too, Miyashido, this is good timing. The teacher turned around and scratched his head the same way my dad did. This is a little hard to tell you, and it's not entirely your fault, but the newspaper club is probably going to have to be shut down now. Because she got stabbed? She wasn't doing anything for the newspaper club. I nodded weakly. Didn't seem like there was anything else I could do. Well, just think of this as a good lesson. Oh, maybe that's rude. In other words...
Sir.
Right.
Thank you.
Cadusa made a motion to shoo him away. Right. Oh well. Carusu suddenly sighed.
I'm tired.
Even the teachers are afraid of you.
No, he's always like that. Dad, I'm gonna rest upstairs after all.
Are you okay? You can stay here until we open again tomorrow.
The pain's not as bad now. I feel better in my own bed.
What did they give you at the hospital when they brought you in?
Ferropenem and loxaprofen. Ferropenem and loxaprofen? I took a little more than a typical dose. You can't have any, okay?
I'm not stealing your medicine. Sheesh. Tell me right away if you get a fever.
Phew.
Carusu slowly got up. I could see her holding herself up with her hands to avoid putting pressure on her stomach. Carusu, I'm sorry.
Takeru, stay here tonight.
I knew her wounds had to hurt, but she was acting completely normal. That just made me feel even more depressed. I said yes in a voice so small even I could barely hear it.
Phew. I'm fine. Don't stare at me like that.
It's really funny that in this scene she doesn't have, like, a spread at all in these ones. Oh, no. Carusu slowly laid down in her bed. I told her I'd help her get up to the 3rd floor, but she said it would just make it harder for her to not walk. Oh, wait, just make it harder for her to walk. Wow. Anyway. At least I could bring her blanket all the way up to her shoulders.
Thanks. This really feels strange, you know?
Huh?
I'm not used to being the one someone else is taking care of. Oh, make sure you put some ice on that.
Carusu pointed at my cheek. She must have been talking about where Kawahara hit me. You shouldn't be worrying about other people right now. And it was my fault that this happened. No, it's not. Yes, you put up a camera. And yes, she went to go take down the camera that you put up, but she did not have to fucking butt her fucking nose in where it didn't goddamn belong. I.e. with the camera. And Ito didn't have to blab, so none of this had to happen, but Ito blabbed, and she can't stop being a mom, so it's kind of both of them and a little bit... Everybody here is to blame, but also 90% her, because she could have just left it alone and been like, oh my god, you assholes. And then just minded her own business. If she can't mind her business, bitch is gonna get stabbed. I'm just saying. But seriously, it's not our fault.
Listen, just so we're clear.
Cadusu tried to raise her head up, but her wound must have hurt her, because she grimaced and laid back down. There you go. She's finally there in a little CG with her no-no bear. Because her name's No-No. It's on its ears. Oh my god. Duh.
This isn't your fault. Getting stabbed is my own responsibility.
Thank you. But if I hadn't put up that camera...
That certainly wasn't a very good idea. But this wasn't something you could have predicted, was it?
No, I can only unlock doors. That was true, but...
Oh, you can have the camera back. Did you put it around somewhere?
I looked around the room and saw there was a paper bag on the desk. The camera I had Ito set up was inside. There was some damage on a corner. It must have been dropped when she was stabbed. What was the guy who stabbed you like?
It was too dark to see well, but I think it was a man in his 20s or 30s. Sorry, can you turn off the lights? It's really bright if you're lying face up.
Oh. I turned off the lights. Carusu sighed to calm herself down.
After getting caught him, he was screaming until the police got there. You fools didn't notice the alarm I sounded on the internet. I'm the holy messenger of the victim, so don't touch me. That kind of stuff.
He's the guy. I suddenly realized that reminded me of something. He's the one on the page. It was the same with that stuff about a barrier that Caruso was saying downstairs. Could he be... Yeah, Honda. The guy who made that page?
The police said they'd come and ask me a bunch of questions tomorrow. I think I'll learn more then.
Felt like her voice was shaking a little. Caruso?
It's nothing. I'm fine.
It was too dark to see clearly, but I could tell that she had her hand on her face. I finally realized that she was holding back tears. I swore at myself. Of course she was, damn it. She'd been stabbed in the stomach. Of course she was scared and hurt. Neither of us said anything for a while. I couldn't bring myself to say another word. Nothing I said would be right, and it felt like it would hurt her. I couldn't see her face. I didn't know if she was crying. But even if she wasn't crying, she may as well have been. Takuru... I don't know how long I was silent. My eyes had finally gotten used to the dark by the time she whispered.
Yuto got a love letter, he says, from Kono. Do you remember her?
Kono. I didn't. I tried to remember, but maybe she wasn't expecting an answer.
They've been in the same class since 5th grade. Yuto was out sick once and she brought him the day's handouts. She wears glasses.
It's that other little fucking girl. She wears glasses. Does she have a side ponytail? She demonic?
One of the boys in class made fun of him, he says. And then Yui...
And then she started to go on in a quiet voice. She told me that Dad had been busy lately. And he was being as obnoxious as ever. That she'd ordered him to stop drinking for a week today. That Yui was still afraid of men, but that she'd made friends with a boy in her class. That Yuto wasn't getting any taller. He said it didn't bother him, but it obviously did. That the air conditioner in the living room wasn't working well, and she and Yui had cut Dad's allowance to buy a new one. That the two of them were saving up their own allowance, too. That the old woman who was a regular at Aoba Clinic, the one who taught Caruso how to sew, wasn't doing so well lately. Maybe that's the old lady. That she'd mixed up a clothes hanger with a clothespin, and one of the patients had laughed at her. I listened to her for a long time, only speaking occasionally. Her voice gradually got softer, and eventually I realized that she was talking in her sleep. And I realized something. So that's it. Caruso was telling me everything that happened here in the half year I'd been gone. What had happened at home. What Dad and Yui and Yuto had been up to. She'd been saying all this because she wanted me to know. And then... She's asleep. As I waited for her to finish her sentence, I could hear her soft breathing. She'd fallen asleep. I slowly stood up, careful not to make a sound. I adjusted the blanket over her once more and went to leave. Rue, if you're still thinking about chasing that case... She was probably talking in her sleep. She's going to say, don't. Damn it! I heard the rest as I left the room, and I understood what she was trying to say all too well. Like, I didn't hear you. No, I must have left before you said it. So technically you didn't tell me. My room hadn't changed at all since I'd left half a year ago. Still had the same shelf, same desk, and the same bed. Everything was as I remembered it. It's honestly amazing how little has changed. Figured it would either have been turned into a storage room or be covered in dust. No, because Nono fixes it. Now, right, my phone is... I checked my pockets for my phone only to realize that I dropped it at the hospital. And that those two weird people had picked it up. I couldn't do it. I tried to remember what happened at the hospital, but instead I found myself thinking about the girl in the next room. My body was tired. My brain was telling me I needed to think about everything that had happened tonight, but I felt too exhausted. So I took out the scrapbook from its usual spot on the shelf. The same articles, the same incidents from the past. I'd seen them so many times I was tired of reading about them. The newspaper article was from around 6 years ago during the Shibuya earthquake. The title was robbery at a refugee shelter. My parents' names were in the article. Saneo Miyashiro. Saneo, yeah. Eriko Miyashiro. The article said that the two of them had been killed by an unknown assailant. Right when he said my parents' names, and I was like, oh, you kind of knew where it was going. When I found out about this several months ago, I'd left the dorm and gone to live in Miyashita Park. Oh, that's why. They were like, oh, you were orphaned in the earthquake because your parents got stabbed. We just didn't want to tell you. I've been told about my parents' death when I woke up from my coma about a year after the earthquake. But Dad and Kurusu had told me that they'd been killed in the earthquake. Sorta? Not really. I closed the scrapbook and put it back on the shelf. I mean, they're like, oh, no, your parents made it through the earthquake, and then they got stabbed. I mean, I guess you could have just said, like, when he asked, like, what happened? Your parents are gone. What happened? Well, after the earthquake, there were fights, and they got killed in an accident after the fact, you know. I guess you could have told him, you know. The fact that my parents were murdered instead of simply dying in the earthquake was a shock to me. I think it was a lot less of a shock than Dad and Kurusu expected. I'd experienced the earthquake personally. I'd seen for myself how awful the looting and robbery was. And my parents had neglected me and spent all their time at work. Neglect. A type of abuse. In this case, it refers to parental neglect of a child. Examples of neglect include a failure to provide food, a failure to provide care during a time of illness, a failure to provide a child a healthy environment, and a failure to show interest in a child. Neglect can also be shown to the elderly and disabled by those in a position to care for them. The 5.5 years that had passed since their murder crushed any desire I had to find the killer and take revenge. No, maybe I would have never wanted to take revenge in the first place. My curiosity just made me want to find them. The bigger thing for me was, it was a shock to me that Dad and Kurusu were keeping it a secret. There were 2 rules at Aoba dorm. After dinner, everyone had to gather around the dinner table and talk, and no one was allowed to keep secrets. Just before I'd left, we had a huge fight. During the fight, Kurusu had told me she didn't want to make things any worse after I'd woken up from my coma. But at the time, that sounded like nothing but an excuse. I thought we weren't supposed to keep secrets, Kurusu! I called her by her last name. We were totally balanced until you lied to me and told me I wasn't allowed to lie. By the time I'd calmed down enough to think about how she must have felt, I'd already moved to Miyashita Park. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. Yes?
It's me. Can I come in?
I just always have to figure Yui's the girl. Okay. It was Yui's voice. I don't know why. I told her she could come in, and the door opened slowly. What is it?
Nothing.
Get the fuck out of my room. I'm just kidding. The 2 of them were together like usual. Yuto looked like he was so tired he could barely stand. The only reason that she'd brought him was probably that if he woke up in the dark alone, he'd be scared. This was another sight that brought back a lot of memories.
It's been a while, Brother Takuru.
Yeah, you know you shouldn't be up this late, right? I didn't know how late it was exactly, but it was probably long past 3 a.m.
It's only for a little, so who cares? Anyway, is Big Sis Nono gonna be okay?
Yeah, she's asleep now.
I see. I'm glad.
Yui looked truly relieved.
Sheesh. I know she does it every day, but she shouldn't have been going to visit the memorial at that hour.
Huh?
You tell her too, okay?
Kurusu was visiting the memorial?
Huh? Yeah, that's what she said when she got back.
My heart skipped a beat. What was Kurusu doing? How much could she...
Oh, Big Brother Takuru?
Yuto suddenly opened his eyes. He was sleeping standing up. What's wrong?
Nothing.
Don't fucking ask questions, smacks him. I'm just kidding. Then he put his head against Yui's shoulder and stopped moving. Yui sighed and held Yuto up so that he didn't fall over.
Big Brother Takuru, I don't know what happened, but come back already, okay? You've got a lot of bath cleaning to do. Oh, and shopping.
I froze, unsure of what to say. Yui gave up on holding him steady and put him on her back.
The room's nice and clean, isn't it? Big sis No cleans it all the time. Anyway, good night.
Yeah. Like, come home. And he's like, no, but I like living in my trailer and I have to pay bills. Who's giving me money to pay all my bills, though? I slid my hand across the desk. There wasn't a single speck of dust. No needs to come and clean my fucking house. The second I saw this, I felt a sharp pain deep in my nose and my vision blurred. I sat down, unable to stand. Really? Usually the pain is from sneezing. I felt the familiar sensation of the chair and stared at the wall I'd seen 1,000,000 times before. Damn it. Why? When I left here, the biggest thing I felt wasn't rage at being betrayed by Dad and Kurusu. It was that I was different than everyone else. After I gotten so sick of the wrong-siders in elementary school that I just stopped going altogether, after my parents had neglected me, this was the one place in my life that had been different. Kurusu, Yui, and Yuto had all lost their parents in the earthquake, just like me. This was a family made of people who had all gone through the same thing. And I was different. I wasn't just a victim. I was a victim whose parents had been murdered. I was the one person who was different. I was special. Imagine! It's not even like, I always feel these things, like everybody else, like Otani and all the other people, why he's the only one that I can remember his name, but all the other people that, Kikita, probably we don't know, but we know about the other girl, I cannot remember her name, but like, they obviously had some kind of like magical abilities, right? Because she had the magic voice, Otani was like, I can see the future. Oh, and they said something, I thought it was somewhere, maybe it was in the... It was somewhere where they said something about Kakita was, oh my god, I was like, he knew what we were thinking. That's why he was so good at his job, right? So he's obviously, like, can read people's minds and some shit, right? So, like, if we were like, I see weird things and I feel like I'm special, but we're like, I'm special because, like, your parents just died in the earthquake and mine were, like, murdered. Imagine thinking that you, like, were, like, the king of tragedy after a fuck ton of people died, and you're like, I'm just different than everyone else. Do you really think that there aren't a bunch of children out there who, like, are orphans because their parents got murdered after the earthquake when there was riots and looting and all that crazy shit and robbery and shit that you... Really? What are you, fucking Batman? You're not fucking Batman! We are such a dick. We don't want to be like, I need someone who understands how I feel. You're like, you don't understand how I feel. I know your parents are dead, but it's different. And then if someone else came along, oh no, my parents survived the earthquake and then they were murdered too. Yeah, well, it's different because, like, it's just different. Like, I mean, what the fuck? We're such a dick. I wasn't like everyone else. Damn it. We might not be. We have magical ability to unlock doors. But it's not even like he's like, everywhere I go, doors open around me, and I feel like I have magical powers. We're like, okay, you're definitely different in the head, right? And in this world, in this game, yes, he probably could have magical abilities like that. But it's not even that. He's different because his parents died. They were murdered after the earthquake. They didn't die in the earthquake. It was after. You're not the only person whose parents died. Like, sister, we're not actually family, are we? That's supposed to be probably when he was a kid, but she looks the same, so. And then the tears started. In my head, I apologized to Kurusu again and again as I sat there unable to get up from my chair. Bad news. Oh. A man who looked like the sumo sticker asked someone for directions. Spiral barley tea. At approximately 5 p.m. on October 6th near Shoto 1st Avenue, Shibuya, a girl walking home from school was asked by a suspicious man, do you know where I can get some chanko? Chanko is a favorite dish of sumo wrestlers. The man asking her was around 30 years old, 170 centimeters tall, heavyset with black hair whose face looked very similar to the face on the sumo stickers. Always stay on well-lit, heavy-traveled roads. Carry a personal alarm with you. Information released by Shibuya Police. Questions and tips. Here's the phone number. Okay. Okay, so anonymous. I lolled! Give the poor guy a break. Is it wrong for a fat guy to want some chonko? It's a jungle out there these days. People like us can't do anything without getting the cops called. I'm assuming he was... whose face looked very similar to the sumo stickers, whose face looked very similar to the face on the sumo stickers, whose face looked very similar to the face on the sumo stickers. Wow, they just put it that repeatedly. Are they sure he wasn't an actual sumo wrestler? Why? What's he got to do with the sumo stickers? So now you're a suspicious person just for asking directions? What the hell? I'm gonna be honest, talking to a schoolgirl was a no-no. Talking to a schoolboy would also be a no-no. The only safe option would be to go find a real sumo wrestler and ask him. Actually, I think I saw this guy a week ago. He was running down Tamagawa Street, really sweaty. He kept mumbling, Chunko, Chunko, Chunko. He really did look like the sumo sticker guy. Maybe he was the model for them. What's a sumo sticker? Somebody tell me. Someone tell me if he ever actually got his Chunko. Replying to who asked. This thing! And then they post the picture. And to reply to that guy. I would piss myself if a guy like that talked to me. A guy who looks just like the sumo stickers? Says who? And then number 11, they're replying to number 11 who is the... Oh, I saw the guy a week ago running down the street. Maybe it was the model. The news said they found a sumo sticker at the scene of the Love Hotel killing last month. Maybe this guy was the murderer. Like, maybe he places a sticker each time he commits a murder? Japan is such a peaceful place. Get thee to a sumo ring! And a reply to that person who said the sumo sticker was the murderer guy. In other words, he's been looking for his Chonko for a whole week. Let's hope when they arrest him, they give him Chonko instead of Katsudon. Anyway, I feel like some Chonko now. Hey! I feel like you need a muzzle! Slowly but surely, the rumors about the sumo stickers started to spread. The rumors brought with them speculation, and thus delusions as well. We didn't realize that once the gears started to turn, no one could stop them. That wasn't his melon. No one could stop them. I can't, my voice still hurts. 2 p.m. As the whole school got excited for the start of the culture festival in 2 days, our club room was as quiet as a tomb, but our club's closed. The only sound was Sarika's occasional fiddling with her cell phone strap. But that would quickly stop, and only the silence would remain. Kazuki had even stopped playing ESO2. Everyone had looked miserable when they'd heard about Kurusu. I'm sorry, I'm here. The teacher came in with his usual dopey grin. I like him, though. He's like Shaggy when he gets old and moves to Japan and becomes a teacher. The conference ran long. I wish they'd think about... Zoinks! I wish they'd think about what it's like for me to have to listen to them, you know, Scoob? Sorry. Can't do that whole one. Sheesh! No one's laughing. He looked around at us and scratched his head. So, about the newspaper club. Everyone looked at him. That's why we'd been waiting, to hear what he had to say. You're gonna have to shut down for a while, like I said. Shut down. I repeated the words in my mind. Has that been decided? Yeah, after what happened, you know... Kurusu hadn't told Yui and Yuto, but before she'd been taken to the hospital, the police had asked her several questions. She had to tell them what she was doing out there. Of course she would. Otherwise, she'd have no reason to explain the camera. And after the incident at the Love Hotel, the teachers probably had it in for us to begin with. Thinking back, it was a miracle we weren't shut down after the Love Hotel case. I mean, I guess it's because, like, a student, but she didn't have to say it had anything to do with the newspaper club, but I guess it's because we had 2 of the students in the newspaper club get arrested at a Love Hotel after somebody got murdered. And then we had another one get stabbed. Yeah, there's something wrong with the newspaper club. I mean, I can understand that leap, so. But there was one condition. One order, you might say. Not that this makes it any better. How to put it? Nah, it doesn't matter. Oh, that's Ito, sorry. No, it doesn't matter. What is it? Well, you see. He looked down at the paper he was holding. Oh, no. Have you heard of a man named Tomoki Watabe? Huh? The internet journalist? That's right. With Nikonia. I'm amazed you knew that, Miyashiro. No? Of course I knew it. He was famous to anyone who used Nikonia and the club that had just been talking about the video he made the other day. could be Niconia, but anyway. And a lot of the class knew about him from his job at Niconia, too. It's probably Niconia. Niconia would sound better. Wouldn't it? Is this another one that I keep flipping back and forth on? Like, did I start in the beginning saying it? I don't know. Anyway, we'll figure it out. He said he wants to speak with the newspaper club up at the Culture Festival. Huh? Why? I don't know. He was going to come to do a story on it anyway, I guess. You know, we're pretty famous, right? Was it about the Restoration Festival? I fucking love our teacher. He's kind of clueless. It was true that our Culture Festival was considered to be part of the run-up to the big Shibuya Restoration Festival. And he says when he comes, he definitely wants to talk to the newspaper club. He's supposedly very interested in the newspaper you made. Seriously? The newspaper we'd made? He knows that we are the ones who made that video. He was probably talking about the video we'd made on the sumo stickers. Ha! Yeah. The one that had gotten all those views because Watabe had come out with the same article at almost the same time. A day later. I had no idea, but supposedly he's famous lately, so the school couldn't really turn him down, you see. You'll have to shut down, but they still want you to do that interview. Just for show. Is that okay? No! I demand you don't shut down my newspaper club, and I demand a new phone, and I demand some french fries. I want some french fries. You know what? No, I want onion rings. And you know what? No, and I want pizza. I want a pizza, and I want a new cell phone, and I demand you don't shut down the newspaper, and I think Kazuki needs to fucking actually say words. And then maybe I'll consider doing the interview. I don't really know what to say. It was also sudden that I was having a hard time processing it. I don't think we have a choice, but... And wait! That's an order from the school, right? He nodded. Then we didn't have the right to refuse, did we? I like how he phrases that, though. He's like, I mean, you have an order, so like, what do you say? You gonna do it? What if I say no? I mean, you don't have a choice. I can still not just show up. What are you gonna do, expel me? Fuck off, motherfuckers! Like, no, I would never have done that. But I just feel like we, as Miyashiro, would totally do that. Alright. Good! You know, they were originally planning on shutting down the club permanently, but I was able to use this to get them to make it temporary. That wasn't funny. The interview will be the first day of the Culture Festival, the day after tomorrow. I'll let you know the details tomorrow. Oh, and I have a message from Karusu. Huh? Since you've been shut down, you won't be able to record any more of the Culture Festival, so instead... She wants you to help the student council, since she can't right now. That's right. That's right. Nan's the president, isn't she? This year's festival is shaping up to be really big, so they need more people. As student council advisor, I'd really like your help, too. Is this where I can say no? Normally, I'd turn down any request from the student council. But right now, it didn't bother me at all. Alright. Alright. Thanks. Pop by the student council room later, then. He's gonna be like a bad kid. He's literally gonna be the murderer or something just because he seems so like super. Okay, guys, I'm on your side. Everything's great. And he seems slightly like, are you just really cheerful? Are you scatterbrained? Like, I don't really know, but you seem so harmless and nice that you're probably gonna stab me at some point. Played way too many Otome games where, you know, the sweet, slightly eccentric character tries to stab you. And I'm just saying, well, Kui... Because they called him Wacky. Like, Mr. Wacky. Get it? Because he's gonna... You know. Because he's a little wacky in his name. And he's gonna stab me. He's gonna be the murderer. It'd be kind of disappointing, but it'd be funny as fuck if he turns out to be the murderer. I would laugh my fucking ass off so hard. So we're really gonna talk to Watabe? That was a pretty big deal, yeah. No one had come to interview the newspaper club since its founding. But this wasn't entirely a good thing. The club had been shut down, but we were still having an interview with someone famous. And more than anything, I thought about Karusu, who was still at home in bed. Sarika stood up from her seat. She walked over to the windowsill and opened the window. Chilly air blew into the room. Oh no. Oh no, eh? Ah! She suddenly leaned out the window and screamed. Oh, it was more like, ah! Okay. Ah! I can't scream like her, I'm sorry. And then she leaned back inside and closed the window. Okay, let's get back on track. Taku, Shin, Hana, come on. Taku, you're in charge. Huh? You know what Nana asked us to do, right? Let's do what we can. Sarika looked right at me as she spoke. Are we not gonna talk about the scream? The look of utter despair and the scream of panic, and Ito and Kazuki turned toward me as well. Taku? Fine, fine. I slapped myself on the cheeks to help me focus. The place where Kawahara hit me still stung. I was like, we just hit ourselves where we got punched. Good. I'm glad they brought that up. Like, I slapped myself on the cheeks, and you know what? That hurt. That was a bad idea, because I was literally thinking that in my head, like, didn't we get punched? I bet that would hurt. So I'm really glad that's a tiny little detail that they were like, oh yeah, right. That they didn't just forget about. You know, like in movies, like, oh my god, you just got shot, and then they're fine, then like, next scene, and you're like, it's been 20 minutes. Are you Wolverine? Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, first, Ito, can you go to the student council room and see what they want us to do? Me? What about you? I probably shouldn't go. I pointed to my cheek. Ito nodded. Kawahara was the vice president of the student council. Oh, I'll go too. Okay, then Kazuki... I really hope... She just goes back to her game. I really hope when she does actually open her mouth to talk, she's not like, okay. It's really like it's just like this, you know, I've been holding this in for a while, but I really think it's kind of crazy. And you know what I was thinking? So, like, if you look over here, and then it's like a 4-minute long speech, and everyone's like, what? I'm sorry. Like, she goes through this whole long spiel of like her conspiracy, everything about the stickers or something, and you're like, I'm sorry. I heard, well, you know, and then I just blanked because you were speaking words, and the well couldn't get through my ear. What? And then she's got to go through it and say it all over again. Took her like 30 minutes to tell us. Because we're all just too shocked that she spoke words aside from, I need this girl to talk. She was going back to her game, huh? Once we know what to do, help us, okay? She nodded, just a little. What about you? I'll get ready for the interview with Watabe. He probably wants to talk about the sumo stickers. Yeah, I wonder why now, though. That was a good question, yeah. Why would a reporter come to meet with the people who'd ended up starting a flame war over one of his articles? He definitely wasn't coming to apologize. Shin, let's go. He's gonna come and be like, you kids stole my article, and I am, like, so much better than you. That's actually the voice that Kawahara should have. We're gonna have to change some shit up here. Look, Watabe's, like, been in the background, but he might actually have a sprite now. I don't know. Huh? Oh, yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm Kawahara. See, there's his voice, and I couldn't do it the last time. It came out sounding really weird. Why couldn't I do it? Why couldn't I do it before when he punched us? I don't know. Look. I pulled Watabe's article up on the PC screen. They're still going at it, huh? The pace of the comments was starting to slow down, but they remained basically negative. There was no way Watabe wouldn't have noticed that. Oh my god. Watabe could have the Lupin voice. Are you kidding? I'm with the news. Do you know how fabulous I am? Especially because Tomoki is first name of the VA who voiced Lupin. That'd be actually kind of funny. That'd be funny. That's also why I was like, I should have known that that was a... Look, I don't know. Some names in Japanese are masculine and feminine, can be both. And I don't know if that's one of them. I just know that I've only heard of men with that name, but I don't know. Anyway, of course he would have noticed our video as well. A lot of the comments were posting the link. I thought he... Oh, you know what it is? No. Just click here, you won't regret it. And because I saw the picture. I thought he was linking to our video, but he really wasn't, was he? Okay. Because I was like, he did copy us. He linked to our video, but okay, he didn't. All right. So that makes more sense why we were defending him. I'm sure somebody mentioned that, but like none of these have posted yet, so. I'm trying to get very far ahead, so you haven't seen that part yet, so. But I heard you, future you, who said that, who's now past you. Future me heard it before you said it, which is, that's my superpower, I guess. Anyway, a lot of the comments were posting the link. I read that. What's he gonna say? Did he want to ask us something about the sumo stickers? He can't blame us and say we stole his thing because we posted ours first. No, he wouldn't need to do an interview if that was the case. And in any event, he uploaded a close-up photo of the sumo sticker at Revolving Dead, which we hadn't been able to incorporate into our video even though we'd been at the scene. We'd had to go back to the Love Hotel and uploaded a photo we'd taken from the street. To be honest, our article was basically the same as his, but his photos were a lot better. I couldn't imagine there was anything he wanted to ask us. So how did he get that? Oh, that's actually totally different. That does not look like the one that was at the Love Hotel, though. That looks totally different. We're saying that is, but I don't think the one at the Love Hotel that we saw, that we've seen before, had the big circle on the right and two little ones on the left and looked like it was partially scraped off. I don't think that that's right. It also doesn't look like the same sticker that the other ones are. Are you sure that doesn't look like the right sticker? Wait a minute. Am I crazy? Well, I couldn't imagine there was anything he wanted to ask us. Could it be about the hospital? That was impossible. No one me and Serica knew about it. No, there was no point in thinking about it. I needed to get ready for the interview and then do what Caruso asked me. Huh. I wonder. Something bothered me, so I went over to the board. So you're going to notice that the photo's different? The sumo sticker from the Revolving Dead case is... Yeah, it's not the same! I carefully removed the one that was on the board. See? Okay, hold on, wait. Oh, I forgot to go back. It's not the same. I knew it. Its face is different. The hair is different. That one's got 3 dots on the left. I went back in front of the map and put the picture back on. The photo that we'd taken of the sticker and the sticker in Watabe's article were different. What was going on with that? Once everyone got back to the club room, I talked to them about it. I told you it was different. Oh my god, wait a minute. Go to the board. I want to see the pictures. I wanted to actually see if we can go into... Huh. No, you can't see anything from here. I was wondering if you could see photos from here so we could go back, because I want to see the photos that flashed through, so we were like, oh my god, the girl and the old lady were in those photos. But they glossed over it so fast. They went through it fast. They mentioned something. He was like, I noticed something. We're like, oh my god. And then they didn't tell us. And then they were like, they're the ones. What is happening? You don't see it. It's on my TV. I just got like a weird fucking pop-up. Like, what the actual fuck? That's obnoxious. It didn't show up in the recording, thank God, because so it's obviously my TV and not my PlayStation, but like, fuck is that bullshit? Don't just fucking pop up fucking shit. Irritating. Anyway, that's new. But you know what I mean? We mentioned it, we saw them like, oh my god, they were the ones in the photo, and they show the photos quick, and then we've never talked about it again. Hello? Stop. Just give me. Anyway. October 8th, 2015. Thursday. 11:45 p.m. The Shibuya Earthquake Memorial. The town was silent, as if it didn't even know she was there. She was standing before the names of the dead, as unmoving as the stone in front of her. In fact, it was hard to tell that she wasn't dead herself. The wind that blew down from the tops of the buildings refused to touch her scraggly hair. The eyes that poked out through her hair were cloudy and lifeless, and her lip was pressed into a frown. She must not have bathed recently because the smell around her was terrible. This is the girl that went into the alley after those 2 ladies. The girl and the old lady. Her black clothes melted into the darkness, making the red jacket stand out a little against the gloom. A sound came from her lips. She pressed her jaw together as if trying to crush a piece of meat. Her leg dragged along as she started to walk, heading toward the ground. In that moment, she stood out from the scene around her. The hair pressed against her face made it impossible to read her expression, but the most noticeable thing about her wasn't the stench or the sound of gritting teeth. It was anger and rage. The anger and rage covered everything about her. Her legs came to a stop. She reached out a glove-covered hand and touched a name on the memorial. She dug her fingernail into it. She scratched again and again as if trying to rub it out. Her nail broke inside the glove, unable to handle the force. Ow. But she didn't stop. She ignored the blood dribbling out of her glove as if she didn't feel any pain. Red continued to stain the memorial stone. The date changed. It was now October 9th. October 10th if someone dies. Yeah, there you go. There was only one day left until October 10th, the date of the next New Generation Madness killing. Amy. 10/9/2015. 2 people in chat. Amy and Ed Lucas. I apologize for the wait. The test images? Spreading rapidly as expected. Maintain things as they are. Yes. And the target? We'll make contact with a reporter named Watabe tomorrow. Kill him. I think Amy is that little girl. Chapter 3. School Festival. Dun, dun, dun. October 9th, 2015. Friday. No, okay. October 9th this year is a Saturday, I think. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, does that like line up with this year? I think it's a Saturday because... Yeah, it's a Saturday because the 10th is a Sunday. I know that because the 10th is 2 weeks before my birthday. My birthday's on a Sunday, so that's how... It's just... Look. Yep.
No! My investigations have revealed that it's a safe assumption that these cases are a recreation of the New Generation Madness.
We can't give him, because the voice we originally had given him, we're going to give to Kawahara, because he's got the Buffy and Muffy voice. And Watabe should sound like Lupin. Okay, so we got to give him a different voice if we got to talk to him. So here we go. Unless someone better comes along, but we don't have a lot of dudes in this, and like, I'm just saying.
But did you know that there was another video that noticed the same thing as I did, at almost the exact same time? That's right, the video from the newspaper club at Hekio Academy in Shibuya.
Really? Okay, that doesn't work. It doesn't work now that he's got a face. Damn it! It doesn't work when you give him a face, game! Now he actually looks like he'd sound more like Kawahara. Back to the like, it makes me extremely happy to see that there are young people growing up who want to be journalists like me. Or maybe he has a normal voice. Let's try some different things here. It was so much better when he didn't have a, like he's had 6 voices. But it's just because you didn't give him a face, and so I can give him any voice, and then all of a sudden you give him a face halfway through the game. 2 chapters in. Anyway. And very shortly there's going to be a restoration festival to celebrate our recovery from the terrible event. As that celebration draws near, I've learned that there's going to be a school festival held tomorrow at Hekio Academy. Yes, that's right. You, my listeners, are very clever, so you've already guessed. But I'll be going to the culture fair to interview the newspaper club. All right, we have to be slightly daring, and oh my god, do you hear the traffic on the 205? Okay. Well, I had to work some things out. He got a face. Still doesn't really work with his face, but I'm just saying. The Lupin voice doesn't work when he looks like he's kind of over shit. And he might just, like, punch you, drink a scotch, and smoke a cigarette. I'm just saying. I want to hear what it's like to be an aspiring journalist these days. And, of course, how they managed to gain the same information I did and reach the same hidden secret behind the cases as me. This interview may bring us even closer to finding the person behind these deaths. The pursuit of truth is the one task of any journalist. That's all for today's broadcast. What will we learn during tomorrow's interview? And what's the truth behind all these cases? Don't miss it! Yeah, no, that's exactly, he sounds like, yeah, no, that works for him. It doesn't work for his face, but then I feel like after he gets off screen, he's like, oh my god, I'm so sick of this shit. Good job. I know. Fucking know it's a good job. The one task committee journalist.
Huh?
No, it's nothing.
I see. Anyway, look at this. Today's views are a new record. A lot of people are watching us, I guess.
Of course they are. They all want to see me.
Huh?
Yeah, no, he sounds full of himself. Great. Nothing.
I see. Well, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's broadcast.
Leave it to me. Tomorrow's gonna get even better numbers. Yeah, and I'm gonna be the one that brings them.
I mean, we're a little under time, but I feel like now's probably a good place to stop because we'll probably
Get into it.
with Watabe's interview and all that stuff. So I'm going to stop a little under time and we'll continue in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.